Memorial Day ponytail. Hold on a second. It's like my lens is kind of blurry for some reason. Hold on. So y'all just ignore all this foolishness. Hold on. Let me see. That's a little better. Hold on, y'all. All right. Okay, it should do it. I don't want it to seem so blurry. Let me try something else, y'all. Wait a minute. And nope, I'm not going to edit it out because this is real live. Um, I was going to say, I want to see if I have my throat back because the last few days I've been trying to ward off a cold. But welcome to Rico the Opinionist. I'm Rico, y'all. I just want to share my Memorial Day address. It's the first one. I've never called it an official address before, so I'll do it. I'm going to try to stop moving so much. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're almost there. Trying to get to 1,500 subs so we can go ahead and monetize this thing and we just start having conversations. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Your man is on. All right. I'm not going to make this long, but because I'm sure a lot of you have had a wonderful weekend, 4-day weekend. Some people started on Friday. A lot of people did. They let the schools out around here on Friday or Thursday, it seems. And they're out for the summer. Graduations are continuing and they're upon us. And so, but Memorial Day is usually the time of year or the holiday where we are to remember, I guess, the fallen soldiers of the wars that we've had in this country. They, I guess, fought for our freedoms and all of that, right? And it's always kind of like jump ball when it comes to freedoms. Whenever they say freedoms of the country, I said, well, as we're considered still in the Constitution, black folks, foundation of black Americans or American descendants of slaves, we're still viewed as 3/5. But I'm kind of go back and forth. That's like, as I stated earlier, I was like battling this cold, and the cold is gone. But you know how when the cold leaves, and there's sore throat, and so I still have some remnants of the sore throat, but I'll continue to gargle and have the Halls cough drops and all that. So this week, before the work week officially begins for me on Wednesday, that's when I start seeing clients again. I want to make sure that my throat is good and clear enough where they won't feel threatened. Like, hey man, you trying to pass something along? Again, the cold is gone. It's just that throat thing. It gets kind of hoarse, I guess. And so anyway, it rained today and it cleaned up the streets and all of that. And so I was meaning to do this earlier today when I thought when people were out and about, but it's kind of humid. The wind was blowing, but it was still kind of humid. Now that the sun has come out, now that it has rained, a 12-minute torrential rain, just raining sideways. It's kind of cooled off. It's pretty nice out here, damn near perfect. But I know this is Texas weather, so it's going to be blazing saddles and this thing as the week progresses. So anyway, and my little side hustle when I'm not seeing clients for substance abuse. You said Lipton Ice? Okay, I'll try that. It's that Wizard Magic? Okay, I'll try that Lipton Ice. If I can buy it in Walmart, I'll try it. And one of my little side hustles, I was working one of the games, one of these USL football games, and I saw Cherry Coke. Get out of here. I saw, now you mean like the acid or something to break it up for me? Okay, that sounds like a good idea. I may actually do that tonight. Cherry Coke, okay. Look, I ran, and again, this is usually a UK. What's up, UK? United Kingdom in this thing. So what we think about is, I guess, the fallen soldiers of the world wars of old. And I happened to run across this brother who's he was sitting on one of those motorized chairs, but he was kind of struggling to get out of his chair, and he had those arm braces that also serve as crutches, like for people who can barely walk. I just went by, I stopped over to where he was and said, "Hey man, how's it going?" "Oh, everything's good, man." And so his name is Eric. Shout out to Eric. If you ever see this video, Eric, I'm talking about our exchange, brother. Eric served in, I think, Afghanistan or one of the Iraqi wars, one of those things. I think like in 90, 91, when it's really okay. Hey, what's up, me? She said, all right, hold on real quick, y'all. I am says, take care of that baritone voice. Get you some lemons, Maruska honey, with a MF rating of 440 plus. Okay, I'm sure that's around here somewhere in one of these corner schools. Mariska, that almost sound like a duvet of honey. However, so I had this conversation with this brother, and we got into how what was going on with him and everything. We talked about a whole lot of stuff, just talking about today's youth, and we talked about the masculinity of girls and the femininity of young men today, and we talked about the good old days when we grew up. He's 58 years old, I'm 55, so we both shared fond memories of the 80s and 90s. Well, he went to the service. I went out to college in the 90s. And he said something. He said, I had gone to the military. One of the wonderful things about it was all the friends. One of the things that was so special about the military, was all the friends that he made, and the friendships lifelong lasting friendships. And then he said, 4 years after he had done six years, completed 6 years, and 4 years out of his after he completed the Army, he started feeling strange. And he went to the doctor. He said he felt his legs kind of getting heavy and dragging. And the doctor finally told him after a visit or so that he had developed multiple sclerosis. Harold, what's up? He had developed multiple sclerosis. And I asked him, I said, man, could it have been, you think it's from those chemicals that a lot of the young men who went into the service between 88 and 92, especially 88, 90, between that time when George Bush Sr. had that Iran-Iraq war and going to all the HBCUs, and they would get, let's say at HBCUs, they would grab like 13 young men over at the PWIs. They only get like 6 of them. And people started noticing that, well, how come y'all getting all of the ROTC guys or the enlisted guys from the black colleges, but you sparing the white males at the white colleges? Yeah, that was a big thing. If you were around and aware back then, 89, 90, 91, 92, you know what I'm talking about. They did try to pull a fast one. And so, so I just kind of like, you know what, man, that's a damn shame, because there are a lot of men and women, mostly men, who came back with schizophrenia. They came back with all types of neurological and physiological disabilities because of that war. And so he says, he said to me, he said, that's why I tried to maintain a positive mind. He knew what happened, and we just chatted it up about a lot of things. Now, I didn't know this brother from Adam, but it's interesting, and I tend to do this from time to time. And some people just, I don't know, I'm just drawn to them, and I just start asking them questions, and guess what? They answer my questions about a lot of things. Now, I've never known his backstory, like how he got into that chair, how he got into those crutches that start from the elbow and work all the way down. I would never known. And so, but he was able to gather himself out of the chair. We stood there for the longest. I know we talked about a good 30, 45 minutes. just chatting it up. And then he made his way to the restroom. And every year we as a country, we bring out the barbecue grills. We go out to places we want to visit. Some of us leave the country to go to Caribbean islands, and I guess we bask in what we know today as freedoms. And we salute and we pay homage to all those men and women, mostly men, who gave their lives, as they say, volunteer, enlisted, and gave their lives for the freedoms that they say that we enjoyed. But one thing we did, and I love talking to black men who are well, he said, you know, a lot of us didn't want to go, but just like there's always been the main discussion. So a lot of people who really enlisted into the Army back then were, you know, people lower economic, disadvantaged, lower economically or economically disadvantaged, young men out of the inner city or from poor backgrounds. And then he said, when he got in, he did his thing. He said, I enlisted for the money. A lot of young men do that. And if it's some white guys, if they come from middle class, upper class, more likely they're not going to enlist. That's not their thing. So if it's some white guys who, for the most part, they enlist, Hispanics or whatever, anybody else who are lower economics, well, they enlist, for the GI Bill and to go to college and the money they get to send home to girlfriends or pregnant girls, all kinds of, they go for the financial benefits. But unfortunately, a lot of them have paid. They don't not just have to pay, but many have paid a huge price to get the money in order to survive. Believe it, with the understanding that they're going to have a better life if they could just finish their 4 years, their 3 years, their 4 years, or 6 years. He said he would have gone further than 6 years, but he noticed the racism or how they treated soldiers. The higher rank officers treated the lower rank officers like dirt. And he said, I couldn't see myself rising up in the ranks and becoming a part of a system that dogs out people just for the hell of it. And I think that's where we ended on it, and I wish him the best. I told him, hey, this is my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist, OPINIONIST. And he said, okay, I'm gonna try to remember that, man. And so hopefully he's listening. But also, when we get to the part of remembering our loved ones, those who are family members who enlisted into the military, who made it back. Shout out to Mary Max. Everybody went to the military that I know. Or Mimi I Am. Shout out to everyone who went and made it back healthy and mentally safe and physically in one piece. Shout out to the ones who didn't make it back from whatever war that they served in, or but also, when we're done with that, I'm of the belief that a lot of other people died for our freedoms, fought for our freedoms. And that's where our scholars come in, our people come in. For me, religious people say Jesus Christ died for their sins, or our sins. So it's almost like they remember him as a fallen soldier, right? And others, I guess, in the Bible, but Jesus is the main one. For me, I think about all those black men and women who fought on the front lines for me to be here. People like Nat Turner, people like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells Burnett, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and the list goes on. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Julia Hare. See, there are a lot of scholars, there are a lot of our people, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. George Jackson, Dr. Ben Yakahanan, Brother Steve Coakley. So there are a lot of our people who fought and died. Shout out to Chairman Fred Hampton and other members of the Black Panther Party, Huey P. Newton. There are a lot of who who fought on the front line for us. And so, see, what'd you say? Knight Rider, he says, our ancestors endured hardness as good soldiers on the front lines for us. That's right. And so, even though it's Memorial Day, people look at it as a military thing. But those soldiers who fought the system head on, and gave up their lives, they gave up their livelihoods, they gave up their bank accounts, they gave up their own families, Dr. King and Malcolm X, Fannie Lou Hamer, they gave up they gave up themselves so we could be here. And so I want to encourage us on these days to remember our fallen soldiers who fought white supremacy, looked at it face to face, and they fought. And I want to transition this over to my remembrance over to, hold on, I'm going to cross the street right now. Hold on real quick, across the street. I didn't get a chance to remember to properly remember Malcolm X on his birthday a couple of weeks ago, May 19th. I want to properly remember Malcolm X. Malcolm X. I used to say when I was younger, I mean like in my 30s, 20s, 30s, if I didn't know any better, I swear Malcolm X was God. I read one of his books called Four Speeches of, I guess, it was called Four Speeches Addressing White Supremacy or something like that. And this dude was brilliant. And I know for those in the Nation of Islam, well, no, he was taught by Elijah Muhammad. I get it. But I didn't learn from Elijah Muhammad. I learned from Malcolm X. And even more so, Malcolm X went a little further than Elijah Muhammad. He went a little further than Elijah Muhammad. He took what he learned and expounded upon it. He created an international movement, for black folks. And if we had listened to Malcolm, I think we'd be in better shape. We'd be in a lot better shape in this country and the world. But we're still dealing with the same simple stuff that Malcolm preached about, that he talked about. His speeches, I'm telling you, if y'all got sons, turn them on to Malcolm. Every young black boy should have a copy of the autobiography of Malcolm X as soon as they pass to the 7th grade. They should be given that book. And the next book they should be given is Carter G. Wood's Miseducation of the Negro. Those two books should shape the thinking of your sons, because it's very apparent that a lot of your sons don't know shit about Malcolm, and don't waste your time talking about Nat Turner. It'll scare them to death. So I want to say, Malcolm, he will turn 99 years old this year. Did y'all know that? Had he been allowed to live, he would have turned 99 years old. Man, that is something. And I think as black men in this country, we're going to have to do better. We're going to have to begin the process of celebrating those black men who celebrated us. And should we decide to, add Dr. King to this mix, we must begin to put the information out about his last 2 years of his life. See, the easy stuff has been already, taken over by, or whitewashed or sanitized by white corporate America. I have a dream, blah, blah, blah. But it's those last 2 years of Dr. King is stuff that we really need to be talking about. Especially the last year of his life when he started demanding reparations. That's the Dr. King we should be telling our sons about. Because things are just kind of happening right before our eyes, and we're not even paying attention. We're so oblivious to it, it's just a shame. And so people ask, had a lot of these people lived, what would Malcolm X think about the way black America is purporting itself today? What would Malcolm X think about how, our progress? Would you think that Malcolm would think that we've actually made some progress since his untimely murder, assassination. I don't know. Because people ask him, what do you think he would be like if he was still alive? Old. 99 years old. That's what the fuck he'd be. Old. but, uh, but anyway. Shout out to Brother Malcolm. Black men, we need to band together and really hold Malcolm as a symbol of black manhood, black fatherhood, what it means to stand up and speak out, what it means to organize. You know, we really need to let that brother be our guide, because y'all tried everybody else. I mean, truly, you've tried everybody else. Some of y'all even tried T.D. Jakes. No diddy. But, have you been swallowed? No, I'm not going to do that right now. But, shout out to Brother Malcolm on this day. It says, Bonnie, how are you doing? How are you? Good evening. I am glad to participate in your live. Thank you for participating, Bonnie. Now, I'm about to wind it down, but you can always check out the playback, and please share, like, and subscribe. And yeah, I just want to take time to really pay tribute to Malcolm X. And no, we don't view him as a perfect person, but we're not going to talk about his imperfections, because that's not what we need. Yeah, we know everybody's imperfect beings. Malcolm X was awesome. You know, he came from Malcolm Little, you know, Detroit Red, Malcolm Little, Detroit Red, and Malcolm X to Malik El-Haj Shabazz. Talked about evolution in a short period of time. And that's that evolution that frightens so many people. But anyway, rest in peace, Brother Malcolm. And I hope more brothers would go back to read your books, listen to some of your lectures, so we can redo this thing. Because a lot of us have gone so far, we don't know how to come back. And on this Memorial Day, please remember your loved ones, those who took care of you, those who looked out for you as a child. If your parents weren't there, let's remember those who stood in as parents when we needed them. Let's remember your mentors when you were kids, who helped you get to the successful place that you are in your life. Let's remember everybody, in addition to those foot soldiers who gave up their lives for our freedoms. It's your man Rico the Opinionist on this Memorial Day. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to y'all later. Be cool. Peace.